Good morning. This is Father Stephen Kelly from St. John's Church in Detroit. We're continuing our series of daily morning meditations, where we generally look at one or another of the lessons that are assigned for morning or evening prayer, what is known as the Daily Office Lectionary. And it's Monday today, back to the start of the work week. So I thought we'd take a look at the lesson that's assigned for morning prayer from St. Luke's Gospel. We're in chapter 9, beginning at verse 46. And just for a little change of pace, I thought I would read today from the Douay version of the Bible, which is actually an original Roman Catholic translation of the Bible into English. It sounds a lot like the King James. So chapter 9, beginning at verse 46. And there entered a thought into them, which should be the greater. But Jesus, seeing the thoughts of their heart, took a child and set it by him, and said unto them, Whosoever shall receive this child in my name receiveth me, and whosoever shall receive me receiveth him that sent me. For he that is the lesser among you, all he is the greater. And John answering said, Master, we saw a certain man casting out devils in thy name, and we forbade him, because he followeth not with us. And Jesus said unto him, Forbid him not, for he that is not against you is for you. And it came to pass, when the days of his Assumption were accomplishing, that he steadfastly set his face to go to Jerusalem. And he sent messengers before his face, and going, they entered into a city of the Samaritans to prepare for him. And they received him not, because his face was of one going to Jerusalem. And when his disciples James and John had seen this, they said, Lord, wilt thou that we command fire to come down from heaven and consume them? And turning, he rebuked them, saying, Ye know not what spirit you are. The Son of Man came not to destroy souls, but to save. And they went into another town. And it came to pass, as they walked in the way, that a certain man said to him, I will follow thee whithersoever thou goest. Jesus said unto him, The foxes have holes, and the birds of the air have nests, but the Son of Man hath not where to lay his head. And he said to another, Follow me. And he said, Lord, suffer me first to go and to bury my father. And Jesus said to him, Let the dead bury their dead. But go thou and preach the kingdom of God. And another said, I will follow thee, Lord, but let me first take leave of them that are in my house. And Jesus said to them, No man putting his hand to the plow and looking back is fit for the kingdom of God. All right, so here we have kind of the urgency of mission that Jesus Christ is calling us to. And it's interesting because the more you kind of think about these things and you look into the background of these things, the more these things are even more. Like the fact that nobody's fit who puts their hand to the plow and looks back. Well, what happens if you look back while you're pushing the plow, right? You start, right? So your paths aren't going to be straight. So you're not fit for that. And then, of course, one person wants to go and say, that go bury the dead. And Jesus said, let the dead deal with the dead. And so all this kind of the urgency of him doing this. But ultimately, in the beginning, he talks about the idea of it's about servanthood. Right? These people are talking about who's going to be the greater, right? Who are you going to put in charge, Jesus, when you pass the reins? And Jesus says, look, you got to be like a little child. And so our service is to be humble, right? We can't go back to innocence, but we can do is be humble. Like a child has to be humble by nature, the fact that he's dependent upon others for nourishment, others for protection. So it is, we need to put ourselves under Jesus's most gracious care and rule and humble ourselves like a child. All right, today's Monday, so we do have 12:15 Holy Communion today, God willing, and 4 o'clock evening prayer. I hope that you can join us either here on this live stream or, even better, join us in person here at St. John's Church. And may God give you a Monday that is full of blessings.